Hello and welcome to today's webinar, The Power of AI in Training, Transforming Learning and Development. I'm Lisa and I'm the Head of Marketing here at Fliplet, and I'm joined by Brett, who is our App Solutions Manager. So before we get started, here are just some of the credentials for Fliplet and why we hope you'll find our webinar and the solution valuable. Fliplet is one of the fastest adopters of AI amongst app builders. We're quite passionate about the possibilities of AI and what it can bring to apps, and this is really driven by our CEO. You'll find him speaking about AI regularly on webinars. We ran about 6 or 7 webinars last year, and he's also speaking regularly on external events. We are the preferred app builder for over 100 global organizations, including 20% of the top 200 law firms and other large organizations. Over half of the apps published by law firms on the app stores were created using Fliplet, and we're pretty proud of that. And we're ranked as a top solution for building apps in Gartner, Capterra, and G2. So today we're going to cover how AI accelerates content creation, the impact of AI-powered features, including coaching, tutoring, and assessment chatbots, utilizing AI for insightful data analysis and course improvement, customizing learning experiences with AI, providing support, personalized content recommendations, and learning paths. And we'll also take a look at some recommended next steps. And we're hoping to come in at around just under 45 minutes. We'd love to hear from you throughout the webinar, so please do ask any questions or share your thoughts at any time during the time we have today. These can be sent privately via the Q&A option at the bottom of your screen. So let me ask you a question. How do you feel about current learning systems? Maybe you have one already. What works for you? What doesn't? And what could be improved? Feel free again to add your thoughts in the chat or in the Q&A at the bottom of your screen. Brett, can you share some of the recent conversations you've been having with customers?
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people I think are frustrated with traditional LMS systems in that they're clunky, they're outdated sometimes. It's difficult to add content, and there's just a disconnect, at least as far as we understand, between generating content and then actually seeing how it's viewed by the students and learners. And that's something we aim to try to fix.
Thanks so much. And we've also had someone let us know that they a concern for them is the flexibility with uploading SCORM files. Is this something you've had conversations around too?
Yeah, I mean, SCORM is kind of a general format that's allowed in most LMSs. It's something we've explored. We haven't had anyone come to us and say we absolutely need to have this, but we will absolutely look at adding it if that's something you need. So yeah, let us know.
Thank you very much. And so within the many conversations that we've had with our customers, there are definitely, I'd say, some mixed feelings about learning systems and LMS. So there's a growing number of customers that are becoming increasingly dissatisfied with their learning system or LMS. I probably don't really want to use some of the words that have been used to describe them, but there's a lot of issues that people are experiencing, and they're really looking for ways that they can overcome these challenges. So from a creator perspective, the things we've heard from customers about is content creation. How easy is it for me to do? Can I set up and customize my learning content really easily? Can I integrate with all the systems that I already have? What's the engagement like from my users? Are they engaged? Do I know if they're engaged? How much flexibility is there and the scalability? And then analytics and reporting are obviously something that's really important for how you can optimize and improve your solution. And cost always comes into it as well. And for the people who are using the system or the solution to learn, our learners, they're looking for mobile access. Can I access it wherever I am? Is it convenient to me? How relevant is the content that I'm consuming? Is it in the format that I want it in? Is it user-friendly? Am I finding it clunky? Clunky is a word that we've heard quite a lot. Does it offer personalized learning paths? Do I get rewards and certifications? Gamification is a really big thing nowadays, where people are looking for that confetti to fall down the screen, or getting that piece of paper that says, hey, I've done this course and so I'm certified in it. And can it track my progress? Can I go back in just where I was before and see where I am and really pick up and keep going? So it isn't by chance that we've found this webinar to be really popular. Through our conversations with the clients that we have, lots of people are wanting to find an alternative. And this is just simply due to how important learning is for your organization. And I don't obviously need to tell you that. Some stats that emphasize this importance from a trends report from 2022 suggested that 81% of participants are more likely to stay with the company that offers continuous training, and 70% said they'd prefer to learn in an online and self-paced environment. So those numbers are significant, and no organization can really afford to be ignoring these preferences from learners. Mediocre training can really cost your organization in ways like reduced productivity and efficiency, higher turnover rates, increased errors and quality issues, missed opportunities, looking at legal issues or customer complaints, and then reduced innovation and adaptability are really some of the things that people have highlighted. So if you're sitting there nodding, hopefully you can see that it's not just you who feels this way. This seems to be a very widespread issue. And thankfully, we feel that the future is looking really bright with AI-powered learning solutions. And that's exactly why we're here to talk about it today. So it's all fairly new, but there's already evidence to suggest that AI learning systems can improve learning effectiveness by 62% through solution features like personalized learning paths based on individual needs. We're really excited about the possibilities that AI can bring to a solution for training and learning. So before we start to take a look at AI's role in training, learning, and education, let's cover the key features and use cases for Fliplet's learning solution to see what AI will build on. Our learning solution is not an LMS or a learning system, it's in the traditional sense, but instead it's a course and content creation and consumption all in one. So Brett will now take us through what our learning solution offers currently.
Yeah, so we've had a learning solution live for quite some time. Today, I'm not going to demo any of these features. Really, we're going to focus on the new additions that are coming with AI. But you're more than welcome to go into Fliplet and build with this solution right now. As Lisa mentioned, from a creator side, you can create courses, break those courses up into lessons, add text, add files, add images into the lessons, add quizzes to test users' knowledge. Users can get certificates when they complete a course, and you can set that up. You can see, of course, reports on individual courses, students overall, how people are progressing through system. There's a variety of other screens that have other documents that are maybe outside of a course, discussion forums, news. And of course, if there's due dates or other things, users can get reminder notifications. So it really is, again, bringing in all of the creation and consumption of the learning materials into one simple solution with screens to be able to manage all of that easily. You can see a wide variety of use cases on the right-hand side there. We've developed a number of these apps already, and I'm sure there's many other use cases you can think of, but client or staff training is very high, as well as IT software specific training. We know especially some of the professional service firms we work with have specific compliance training that they have to verify that people have gone through the whole course and get them an actual certificate for. So that can be really important as well.
Thanks, Brett. So let's now move on to where we see AI's role in creating new generation training and learning. So first up is accelerating content creation with AI. One of the key attributes of AI is taking a vast amount of information and materials and distilling that down into succinct formats or structures. So with a learning solution, you've basically got an AI assistant. It's doing all the legwork. It's taking up all of those resources and coming up with a structured course. You can save course development time really easily, and also you're enhancing the quality of the course material because of how much it's able to look at and creating engaging and relevant information and content like quizzes or interactive content or summaries. AI can offer the ability to take feedback from learners and then adapt the content, which is something that a traditional learning solution wouldn't be able to do. And this approach not only accelerates the content creation, but it can create this more refined and enhanced version of that content. So let's take a look at content creation with AI in action with a demo from Brett, who will show us course structure creation, text generation, and quiz generation.
All right, so I'll just share the app in Fliplet Studio here. Again, these AI features are not available quite yet. This is very much in development, so bear with me if there's any issues. This is kind of an early dev copy for me. But yeah, we'll walk through some of these AI enhancements that we've added. So right off the bat, we have the ability to generate a course with AI. And if you already have content and maybe you haven't built it into a course yet, or maybe you want to build something entirely new, all you need to do is give it a course topic. I'll keep it a little meta today and say generative AI uses in the workplace. And so AI will create a course for that. We can describe our audience. I'll say working professionals. You can be as specific as you want with this. And again, that's going to help shape how AI makes the course. And tone of voice. There's a variety of different tones of voices, again, based on how AI will use this. I'll say inspiring, look into the future with AI, and we will submit that. And very quickly, probably less than 30 seconds, it's going to generate a course title, a description. So we've got the title here, we've got a description, and it's going to generate all of these lessons for us. And I can come in here and edit any part of this if I don't really like what it's done. I can regenerate and we can kind of start over. I'll just, as an example, remove a couple of lessons here. So now we've got only 11 lessons. And then I can generate that course and it'll actually save it and all of that structure for me. And so now, yeah, we've got our course, we've got the description. I can kind of save it as a draft for now until it's ready to go. And again, I won't go through all of these fields. We already have this in the learning solution, but due dates, reminders, certificates, some of those things we mentioned, you can set all of that up. But if we save that as is, you can see now I have my course title. I have all of my lessons that are built, and now I just need to add content to them. I could add additional lessons or modify any of these if I needed to, drag and drop and reorder. But let's go in and add some content. So I can add images or files if I want to, totally optional though. And from this lesson content, again, if I don't have anything already, I can choose which lesson I want this to be in. We'll start with an introduction. And if I give it a heading based on that and the lesson and the overall course title, AI can generate text for me. So introduction to generative AI concepts and guidelines. What are the basics of generative AI? And it'll generate that text for me again very quickly. And again, I'm totally able to edit this. If I don't like what it said, I can modify my heading and try again. But just like that, I've already created one section of a lesson and I've added that into a lesson. And now we've got the first part done. I can keep doing that. And it's very, very fast and easy, as you can see, to have that. The other thing we can do is generate a quiz. Again, this is going to take the content of the lesson and generate a quiz for me. So if we use that first example, may not be the best quiz since we only have one item, but again, we'll just give it a name. Generative AI test. I can add additional details, but I don't need to. If I just click generate, AI is going to come up with a few questions. They are set up to be multiple choice answers. So it's already generated 3 questions for me. You can see how fast that was. What is the primary focus of integrating generative AI into daily routines? That's a pretty good question to me. And it's got 4 possible answers, and it actually already highlights what is the correct answer. So I can add this to a course right away. Users can go in and actually, be tested on their knowledge. And if they select the correct answer, they'll get points, or you can have a certain pass mark for it. If I don't like this, again, I can regenerate, I can modify and add my own. But it's that quick and easy to add a course and other content. And if I save that, it will, again, just add it back into this lesson for me. So in just 2 minutes, I have a course, I have an outline, I have my first bit of content, and I have a quiz. So it's very fast and easy to use. Yeah, Lisa, if you want to take it back.
Thank you. So next up, let's discuss the impact of AI-powered coaching, tutoring, and assessment chatbots. So the impact of these sorts of chatbots, I mean, it's really transformative. It's providing personalization at scale. That's just not possible in traditional learning environments. So this can provide personalized tutoring with real-time feedback while someone's learning. I mean, that would be fantastic to have if you've got a question to ask right then and there. It can adapt your learning path based on your individual pace or your needs. Chatbots can offer that instant feedback whilst you're learning, identify any learning gaps through what you're doing, and deliver those through, AI-driven assessments. And lastly, it can adjust learning materials for the individual based on their requirements and then targeting areas for improvement. So Brett will now give a demo of customizing and using the AI chatbot within Fliplet's learning solution.
Yep, so let's jump back in. I've got another course, same subject, but it's got a bit more content in it just for us to create a better example here. But you can see I've got a chatbot. I'll delete that out just so we can start over and add a new one. But at any point inside of a lesson, we can add a variety of different types of chatbots. So if I go in and I want to add a chatbot, I've got the lesson. Again, I can choose a specific lesson that it goes into. I can give it a name. It could just be whatever you kind of want it to display as. Chat with me. And then the types. So we've got the coach, we've got role play, we've got the ability to explore concepts, give feedback on users' opinions, give examples, and give an assessment. So this is really cool that it can go beyond, the static quiz that I just showed you. You could actually have it ask questions and give a more thorough assessment. And that's going to help a lot of different people the way they learn differently. But let's give examples. So you can see the prompt. This is actually what we're giving to AI. You can modify this if you want to. If you don't like any of these types, you can just make your own. But essentially, it's going to provide examples related to the subject matter. And then we're giving it a bunch of details about the course and the content that's in this specific lesson. But again, that quick and easy to add a chatbot in. It's after all of my content. So I can go in here and view this as a user. And I could get started on the course. And of course, all of this works on mobile as well. You have more small bite-sized bits of information that's very mobile friendly. And I can just go through this text that's already been generated, read up about it. And then if I get to the last section here, you can see that it's, progressing me through the course. And the last bit here will be the chatbot. So now I can come in here and say, give examples of generative AI. It can come with different prompts, by the way, so it may have that already. But just for the purposes of this demo, I'll set that up. And it'll take a second. But it's going through some pretty good examples. It's given me, again, based on the context of what I already have in my lesson, it's talking about GANs and a variety of other things and tailoring everything to, again, working professionals and the course I have set up. So it's very cool, very quick and easy. And again, users can go back and forth and be able to learn more, get better examples, get something specific for their role. It is really able to personalize things a lot more for them. And yeah, so we think that's a great feature that we have.
Thank you, Brett. And now let's talk about utilizing AI for data analysis and improvement. So if you're a little bit of a data geek like me, you can really get lost in data, looking for that nugget or multiple nuggets that you need. But let's be honest, sometimes we might want or have less time hunting and more time making those improvements based on that information. And that's where we feel that AI can come in. Given AI's huge processing power and ability, it can take course usage, solution metrics, and really understand its effectiveness and offer data-driven recommendations and also actionable insights. It's tracking learner engagement and suggesting ways to improve the content and the methodologies that you're using. You can think about some of those things that Brett has just demoed, that, you know, when is the right time to quiz somebody with the quiz generation at the start? You know, when are those right moments to interact with a user and help them learn as much as they can? It can even evolve courses based on this analysis. So it really will mean that you can potentially save hours of time on data analysis. And so, Brett, this is something that we're looking at implementing for the future?
Yeah, I mean, in a variety of other app solutions we've looked at the learning solution as it is now has very good reporting, but it is, you know, kind of static reports. We don't have that AI element to be able to expand on it further. So you can look at information about courses, specific students, and it is a little bit manual. You're going to have tables of data and you're going to have to analyze that yourself. With AI, we're hoping that we can just give it all of that data behind the scenes and you can just come in and ask it questions. You know, exactly what do you want to know about your data? And it can provide answers. We've tested that in other solutions, as I mentioned, and it's very, very good at it. Obviously, AI can handle a lot of data very quickly, much better than humans can. So the next phase as well, in terms of just broadly for all of our app solutions, but specifically for learning, it wouldn't just be your courses and your students. It would be actually how are people using your app? What is the data of how they're engaging with each individual part of the app? And that's going to be able to make recommendations on improving your app, improving the user experience, improving workflows. But again, of course, specifically, you know, which courses are working, which students are struggling, any of that kind of information, you'll hopefully just be able to go in and ask it, and it will be able to provide you answers based on hopefully a huge set of data.
Fantastic. And obviously, if you're watching and you feel that this is something that you would be really interested in, we're always open to having conversations. Love to hear from you if it's something that you think you would like. And also, if you've got any questions on any of the content that we've talked about so far, please do pop that in the Q&A box at the bottom of the screen and we'll answer them towards the end of the webinar. So next we'll explore customizing learning experiences with AI. So nowadays, content consumption can vary widely amongst individuals. So I might really like to watch videos to consume and learn and then look at text sometimes, whereas you might find that Brett prefers to consume content mostly via audio when he's walking in his very sunny Californian neighborhood. I'm not jealous at all. So with AI, we'll have the ability to match content with your learning preferences. There's the potential to translate into different languages, which Brett will come on to talk about in a moment. It can ensure a greater level of engagement by aligning preferred learning modalities. So even though you may have set your preferred preference to audio, it may be able to understand that you really, even though you say audio, you're actually consuming most of your content by reading and then continue to engage you in this way. And it can ensure that content remains challenging and relevant. And that's really what we want is when people are learning is that they are continually challenged. That's why we're doing it for our skill development. So yeah, Brett, what are we looking at for future plans of different types of learning content?
Yeah, so you saw that we can obviously generate text. The next level is generating audio. Personally, I love, you know, listening to podcasts or audiobooks again while I'm out walking in sunny California. That's the benefit of living here. I prefer to listen to things most of the time. So we know AI is very good at generating audio. Furthermore, you may be able to have, you know, audio input, so you can talk to it. Maybe you can talk to the chatbot, and it can convert that into text. And we've started to see demos. It sounds like actually OpenAI may have announced today that their video generation will come at some point this year. Obviously, we don't think it's there quite yet, but potentially you could, you know, generate various types of video in learning as well. So yeah, we have text for now. We're looking into how to do audio, and would love to hear any feedback if people are interested in that. The other side of it with translation, we absolutely can do translation. We've done this for some clients. We've spoken to them in other app solutions of either you have a button that says, you know, translate, and it pulls it from the user's profile, like my preferred language is Spanish, click it and translate. For the learning solution specifically, we've thought about having that as an option on a course by course basis. So you would add everything in English or whatever your preferred language is. The user can set their preferred language when they sign up, and they can either read it in English or whatever the default language is, or click a button and say, "Give me this course in Spanish." So that's definitely a possibility. We know how to do that. AI is very, very good. If you've ever used Google Translate or something, AI is much, much better. We've tested it across a variety of languages just with what different people speak here at Fliplet, and it seems to be very, very good. So we're definitely open to adding that into courses if there's enough demand for it.
And our last topic is to cover AI support and personalized content recommendations. So the power of AI to guide learners to the most relevant content, we just cannot overstate it. AI can analyze someone's learning habits, as we've spoken about, their performance, their preferences, and then offer personalized content recommendations. And then these can all be aligned with their individual career goals and interests. The impact is that you're going to have engaged learners. They're finding value in every piece of content, which is then leading to improved learning outcomes and satisfaction. And I mean, what is not to love about that? AI will also be able to create adaptive learning paths for each individual's progress. And so, Brett, what are our future plans for learning paths?
Yeah, so again, right now in the learning solution, we have a very static option for a decision tree that you can set up. Maybe someone selects their job title and their years of experience, and then it says, okay, take this course, then this course, then this course. But everyone's different. That's a pretty standardized solution. I've already spoke to a number of people about the possibility of, based on the user's profile data or whatever they input, it recommends the first course. And then based on how they do in that course, specific lessons, if they struggle with certain assessments, if they progress through it really fast, and maybe there's a survey afterwards that they say this was too easy for me, AI can take that data and then again look at your other courses and other content and say, you know what, I think you need to jump a level, or you need to review this more, or there's this specific subject matter that you need to focus on, and give people courses or lessons in kind of a customized order, and again, make it more adaptive and personalized for each individual.
Excellent, thank you. So some key takeaways that we've discussed so far: we can accelerate course structure and content creation, AI chatbots for coaching, tutoring, and assessments. Hopefully you like the look of the ones that we showed you earlier. AI data analysis and improvement, customized learning experiences, and now just talking about support and personalized content experiences. So just to talk through some recommended next steps. Thank you so much to the people who've asked questions already. We still have a little time before we will do Q&A. So please do ask any burning questions that you have. If you haven't signed up for Fliplet already, you can sign up for free via fliplet.com/sign up. It's really easy to go in and select the learning solution and then add in your own content. And then pretty much you can preview the app and send it to your colleagues. And it'll be even faster once we implement the AI features. Or if you prefer us to show you how it all works, you can book a meeting via the link, QR code and link on screen. And then if that's not enough, we also run an interactive training session with our lovely colleague, Noel. That's every Tuesday morning or afternoon, depending on where you are. And he will show you how to build an app in 15 minutes. Now, on to our Q&A. Brett, I'm going to be firing these questions at you. Sure. So the first one is, have you taken into account accessibility requirements?
So Fliplet has a number of features for accessibility. Some of that is, of course, going to be based on you and how you create things. So, for example, if you add an image, you need to add the alt text. But text size and color contrast, again, because we're so flexible, it is somewhat up to you to adhere to those guidelines. With our templates, of course, we try to adhere to that as much as possible. If you want to come in and change the colors to be drastically different, though, you need to make sure it has good contrast. For some things like video, obviously, when we get into the era of AI video generation, it should provide transcriptions. And I know that's a big thing that I've spoken to some clients in the past about accessibility and having to transcribe all and add captions for every single video is an accessibility guideline that you're supposed to meet, but is quite daunting. So again, we hope with AI, generative AI, text and video will be easy to just have captions and videos. But right now, it is very much up to you to maintain accessibility and keep some of those guidelines in mind.
Thank you. Our next question is it possible to have AI generated PowerPoint slide decks from the content?
Um, I'm not sure, to be honest. I've never played with that. We are using OpenAI for everything, so presumably, if you could do it in ChatGPT, you could do it with our system. We do have image generation. We've added that in other solutions. We haven't yet added it in learning. We didn't know how relevant it was, but having a slideshow is definitely something we could explore. Obviously, the way our kind of system is mapped out, as you saw with learners, is it's kind of meant to be individual slides. So I guess I would question whether you need to make a PowerPoint slide. If you want to have that as supplementary content, though, potentially you could do it through the app. I've just never tried that personally, and I don't know exactly what that would look like. But since AI can generate text and images, it should theoretically be possible. So it's something we could explore.
Okay, thank you very much. And if I have a PDF or a blog, how would I be able to turn that into a course?
That is definitely something we are aware of. We've had several people ask about that. We will explore the options for that. It's not something we have right now, but absolutely we want to look into taking a PDF or a link, kind of digesting all of that text, giving it to AI, and then having AI structure that, set it up, and hopefully the idea is that you can add a PDF, and in a couple minutes it'll make a full course for you. It'll make the lessons. It'll make all of the content. But we do need to hear interest from you guys. If there's many people that want that, then we'll absolutely prioritize looking into it more.
Okay, wonderful. And something you mentioned just now was around ChatGPT. So the question is around how secure is the data and the content? Is it being used to train the wider model?
So we are using the OpenAI API, which is like the back end of ChatGPT. OpenAI has said that none of the data you pass through the API will be used in training. That doesn't mean that they don't have the data and can't change their mind later, to be frank. We don't control that. So we absolutely, caution people against any data that's sent. When we do things like analytics, we make sure not to send email addresses or anything that's personally identifiable. We're working on systems to allow you to send individual user data, but with general IDs or things that aren't recognizable or that really matter in terms of personal privacy. But yeah, really that's up to you. Nothing in the learning solution or anything we have really sends anything private. If you wanted to really thoroughly describe a course that had some intellectual property or something in it, I would caution you against that. But for the most part, I don't think you're going to run into any issues with that.
Okay, and where do you think the biggest benefits will come from with the AI in learning solutions? Is it who's going to benefit more, the creator or the learner?
Both. It really depends. If you have a bunch of content, some of what I showed today may not be relevant. You may not need to go in and create a course structure and all of that. You may already have that. If you have SCORM files, you may just want to link up your SCORM files. But I really think the ability to add quizzes as quickly as you can and add chatbots from the creator side makes it so quick and easy. From the learner side, being able to engage with dynamic content, as we've mentioned, having different types of content, different mediums, and really having like a personalized tutor and a chatbot. That's really what those can act as. And verifying that you completely understand all of the information is so helpful. And obviously, it just is so easy to use when it's right inside of the solution. So I really think both will benefit quite a bit.
Okay, wonderful. And the last question is, when are the Fliplet AI features going to be launched?
So, as I mentioned, the learning solution is live now. You saw my development copy. Frankly, if you wanted to have a demoable version, I could absolutely give it to you. Feel free to reach out to us and we can help just send that into your Fliplet account if you already have it. But launching publicly for everyone and hopefully having a stable version that people can use is probably just a couple weeks away.
Excellent. Very exciting. And thank you very much to everyone who asked questions. And just to cover some further resources, we will send these out in our follow-up email to everyone who attended today. And also just to say, if you would like to book a meeting or sign up for Fliplet, it's very easy to go to fliplet.com and you'll see those buttons straight away. So a few things I wanted to draw your attention to is a webinar run by our lovely colleague Felipe in November. He looked at strategies for seamless onboarding, development, and engagement in HR. And we have a couple of relevant case studies from a law firm, Gately, who increased engagement with academy delegates with their training app, and also a UK-based charity who created a secure and reliable mobile app for medical training. Well, that is all from myself and Brett today. As we said, please do get in touch with us if you have any questions or you'd like to know more. Thanks so much for joining us, and we hope to see you at another webinar soon.